Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS 2021 preliminary general studies paper analysis as well as discussion. My name is Hitesh Reddy and I will be doing the first part of this discussion, and also I request you people to go back to our website in a day or two and check for our expected cutoffs. So today I am having the set B with me for the discussion, and the first 20 questions in this particular set is related with history. And in this, the first question goes like this with reference to history of ancient India. Bhavabhuti, Hastimalla and Kshiraswara were famous Jain monks, playwrights, architects and philosophers. So Bhavabhuti, they were all very famous playwrights, and Bhavabhuti had also written a very famous work called Maithili Kalyana. So this was a different version of Ramayana, and in this work Maithili Kalyana, he speaks about the marriage of Sita. So the first question answer is B. Now starting with the second question, so this is from your freedom struggle part in modern Indian history. It's about the Montego-Chelmsford reforms. So the first statement, Montego-Chelmsford reforms of 1919 recommended voting rights for all women above the age of 21. See, definitely Montego-Chelmsford reforms recommended voting rights for women, but the provinces were free to decide whether voting rights for women can be given or no. And among all the British 11 provinces, it was the Madras province which first gave voting rights for women. So statement 1 is definitely wrong. And also here statement 2, Government of India Act 1935 gave reserved seats for women in the legislature. This is also wrong. Government of India Act 1935, it gave the communal award. That is, the communal electorates were introduced, and hence this question, both statements are wrong. The correct answer is neither 1 or 2. Then once again, the third question, this is also a very direct question relating to the Quit India movement. So in this question, the option A, which says the Quit India resolution was adopted by All India Congress Committee AICC. So definitely there was a meeting that happened in Bombay, and the correct answer is A here. Mahatma Gandhi himself, although he was not a member of the Congress in 1942, he himself had drafted the Quit India movement resolution, which read as it's a crime against God and mankind to remain any longer loyal to the British. It's a situation of do or die. Quit India was the resolution drafted by Mahatma Gandhi in Bombay. So the correct answer in the third question is A. So coming to the fourth question, again this is related to both the culture as well as modern history, the freedom struggle part. So it's a direct question that songs from the prison. So it was the religious lyrics in English by whom? So its direct answer, it was written by Mahatma Gandhi. Now the fourth question here, this is related to the administration of Indian kingdoms during the medieval period. In fact, during the Mughal Empire, this entire kingdom was divided into 12 major provinces for administration. So they were called as 12 subas. Among these, Bengal was one of the suba, and you had Awadh, you had Bihar, Malwa, Ajmer, various subas were there. So Suba was the largest unit of administration, and Paragana was the least unit of administration. Fifth answer, correct answer is A. Fifth question, correct answer is A. Coming to the sixth question. So Your its first General Secretary was Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. This is also a very direct, straightforward question. So this year, I feel history, a lot of factual, straightforward questions were being asked. And the seventh question, this is related to the freedom struggle as well as the role played by the Indian National Army. So, especially in the 1940s, when there was a lot of communal violence happening in India, and the talks were to divide the entire country on religious lines, Indian Army was a very good example of communal harmony. It had a Muslim captain, Shahnawaz Khan. It had a Hindu captain, Sehgal, and a Sikh captain, Dhillon. So they were all officers of Indian National Army. So correct answer is D. Coming to the next question, again this is related to the medieval part of India. So with reference to Indian history, which of the following statements are correct? So the Nizam of Arcot, so he emerged out of the state of Hyderabad. So yes, Nizam of Hyderabad, he emerged out of that. This is the correct statement. And the Mysore Wadayars, so they were also under the Vijayanagara Empire, and that is also a correct statement. After the fall of Vijayanagara Empire, the Wadayar declared themselves as independent, and later, as you people very well know, that Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan ruled for a short time, and then the Mysore came back to the Wadayars. But here the Rohilkhand kingdom formed out of the territories occupied by Ahmad Shah Durrani. So the Rohilkhand here, it was formed in 1721 and it went on until 1774. But Ahmad Shah Durrani's time period is 1747. So the time periods do not match here. So the wrong statement is 3 and the correct answer is A, 1 and 2 only. Coming to the ninth question, which is a very direct question. River Bhagora river passes through this Ajanta cave, so correct answer is A. And the ninth question, many of you would have done a mistake, so no doubt 21st February is International Mother Language Day, but this is not by UNICEF, it is UNESCO, hence the first statement is wrong and the second statement is correct. The correct answer here is B, 2 only. So coming to the 11th statement. So 11th statement, definitely the design of the Indian Parliament has been taken from this particular Chausat Yogini temple. So your statement 1 is also correct. It was designed during this Kachapagatha dynasty, but they say in the second statement that it is the only circular temple in the country. So it is one of the very extreme statement which is used, and it was not of the Vaishnava cult. So here only 1 and 4 are correct. Statement 2 and statement 3 are wrong. So correct answer is C. Coming to the 12th question. Which one of the following ancient towns is very well known for its elaborate system of water harvesting? So this also is a very very question which comes in your ancient history. So you must have done it in your Indus Valley civilization. So the correct answer here is Dholavira, option A. 13th question. This is again relating to the modern history of India. When East India Company came to India and started setting up their factories. So in the beginning, the factories they first set up in the first half or the first quarter of the 17th century was in Surat, then it was in Broch, then Agra, Ahmedabad, and it was in Masulipatanam. And here we have only Broch given. So correct answer is 1 only, not Tiruchinnappalli or the Chikkakol. 14th statement, so this is again directly from ancient Indian history. You just need to know the timelines of each of these kingdoms, and here the correct answer is 1, 3, 4 and 6. You can directly eliminate 5 Yadavas of Devagiri, so they have ruled the parts of Karnataka and Maharashtra. So this can be eliminated, these options. Correct answer is B. So coming to the 15th question regarding Vijayanagara Empire and the foreign travelers to Vijayanagara. So if you have been following our classes, so we've been telling during our history classes that Vijayanagara Empire is a very, very important kingdom, and especially the accounts of the foreign travelers, you people have to make a note of it. So Nunes, he was one of the Portuguese foreign traveler who had come into Vijayanagara Empire, and he has written a lot of things. In fact, he has also said that he admires the jewelry of the women in the Vijayanagara period, and women were also being employed by the kings for various levels of administration. The correct answer is all of the above, option D. Coming to the 16th question, it is a very, very direct question, and I know that most of you would have done a mistake and you people would have selected A because Pingali Venkaya is from Andhra Pradesh, who designed the national flag, but the correct answer is C. So in around 1918, 1919, Rabindranath Tagore, he had visited Madanapalli. So here there is the Theosophical Society's branch. So when Rabindranath Tagore had visited the Theosophical Society in Madanapalli, so that is when he translated the national anthem from Bengali to English. So correct answer is C. Now again, question has been taken from ancient history. So also in culture, you people would have come across it. So Burzahom is a Neolithic site in Kashmir. So first one is wrong, whereas 2 and 3 are very much correct. In Ganeshwar, you also have a lot of copper deposits there. So correct answer in this question is D. And coming to the 18th question, directly taken from medieval history. So if you check the statements given in 2 and 3, so Devaraya 2 and the entry of Vasco da Gama, the timelines do not match, and similarly, hence third statement is wrong. And similarly in question 2, the Muhammad bin Tughlaq and the Taimur entry, so here also the timelines do not match, hence the only correct statement is 1. So correct answer is A. Coming to the 19th question, so if you people have if you people are fans of visiting Goa, so definitely you people should be able to answer this. Saint Francis Xavier, he did not die in Goa, but his remains were kept in Goa. So statement 2 you can directly eliminate, and 1 and 3 are definitely correct here. So correct option is C. The last question in the history section for today is regarding the law of inheritance. So in ancient India there were two laws of inheritance. One is Mitaskara school of thought which was given by Yagnavalka, and Dayabhaga school of thought by Vijnaneshwara. So usually the Mitakshara school of thought was followed almost all over India, and Dayabhaga school of thought in certain places in Bengal and northeastern states. So in this both 1 and 3 are wrong statements, and only statement 2 is correct, and the correct answer here is B. So students, the next part of the video, the next 20 questions which is related to economics will be dealt by Sagar sir.
So the next set of questions are related to economy mostly, and there are only 4 questions which are related to environment. So the first question, that is the 21st question related to economy, is that of demand pull inflation. It's quite an easy question, a direct question I would say. So what are all the factors which would lead to demand pull inflation, right? The first one is expansionary monetary policy or expansionary policies, either the fiscal policy or the monetary policy. That would be right. Fiscal stimulus is right. Inflation indexed wages, while you might have the doubt. So 4 would be correct for sure. 1, 2, 4 are surely right. So if you choose 1, 2, 4, the only option you are going to find is A and then D. However, 5 is related to rising interest rates. So this is not going to cause inflation. In fact, it is going to reduce the inflation. The only option you can choose is A. That would be your solution. The next question. This is related to your financial markets and the investments in government securities. So retail investors, can they invest in the government securities directly? This is something which was dealt by the RBI only recently this year. It has given the retail investors to invest directly, that is in the primary market. Permission has been given. So 1 is right. Second one, that is negotiated dealing system or order matching. This also is a trading platform. So this is also right. And the third one, here there is a small error in the statement. The error is related to Reserve Bank of India. It is not the promoter, only the BSE and other big banks are the promoters. So the answer would be 1 and 2 only, that is your B. Next question is water credit. So this is quite an easy question. Yeah. So this is promoted, or this initiative has been started by water.org. It is a NGO. It is an NGO, international NGO that has started it. So with that in mind, you can clearly eliminate 2. If you eliminate 2, you get the answer 1 and 3. C is the answer. Next is related to central bank's function. The central bank's function. So what is the central bank's function? The function as a lender of last resort. It is the lender of last resort to the banks. Whenever the banks are facing any difficulty, yes, RBI comes to their rescue. So lending to trade and industry bodies, no, RBI does not deal with them directly, no way. Second, providing liquidity to the banks on a temporary basis. Yes, this is right. Lending to governments to finance budgetary deficits. This would be a sin. Yeah, so the only way the RBI lends to the government as of now is through WMAs, ways and means advances. So 3 cannot be the right statement. So the answer would be B, 2 only. Next, this is related to your environment or to code of practices. It is direct question. So it is related to environmentally responsible practices in electronics recycling industry. So the solution is A. The other 3, they are not related to it at all in any way. 27, copper smelting, again related to your environment. So for this, look at these words may, can and may. So these are all possibilities, open-ended statements. So may release lethal quantities, obviously yes. Can cause leaching, obviously yes. And may release sulfur dioxide. This is also a possibility. So whenever there is a possibility, anything can happen. So the answer would be D, 1, 2 and 3. Next is related to furnace oil. Again, you use the same trick. As in, furnace oil is a byproduct of oil refineries. Of course, it is a product of oil refineries. Next, some industries use it to generate power. Of course, some industries at least are using it. So as the technology advances, the waste created by any industry can be used as an input in another industry. So it says some, it is not an assertive statement. So you can go with 2, which is right, and then causes sulfur emissions into the environment. 3, obviously yes. So the solution is D. So no problems here. Next question is blue carbon. It is simple understanding. Carbon which is captured by the oceans and coastal ecosystems. The question cannot be any more direct. Yeah. So the moment you read the other statements, blue is related to water, right? And you see that in A only. So the solution is A. The next question is related to ferns, lichens, mosses and mushroom. So the question asks which of them actually cannot grow without soil, right? So can grow without soil, sorry. So the species which can grow without soil are lichens and mosses. These are very preliminary species, very preliminary in nature. Ferns and mushrooms, both of them require soil. Ferns are a species of trees, and then mushrooms, on the other hand, you might have seen them on the barks, but they require soil because they have roots. So the solution is C. Next, now we go back to economy. 31st question. This is related to the governor of the RBI. So is he appointed by the central government? Yes, obviously yes. And then you have the second one, certain provisions in the Constitution of India. This is not the Constitution of India. It has to be the RBI Act. So second one is wrong, second statement. The third statement, the governor of RBI draws his powers from the RBI Act. Obviously yes. So 1 and 3, you would go with C. It was pretty direct. 32, with reference to the casual workers employed in India. So for this, what we are going to do is, all casual workers are entitled for employees provident fund coverage. This is a judgment given by the Supreme Court of India. So 1 is right. Third one, again, notification can specify the establishment or industry to pay all the wages through bank account. This is obviously right. Government has all the powers to do it. And the second statement, all casual workers are entitled for regular working hours and overtime payment. Obviously yes, if they are working more, they have to be given more wages. So the solution would be 1, 2 and 3, D. No problem there. The next question is again concept based. What step is most likely to be taken in the time of economic recession? So during these times, you cannot actually cut the tax rates accompanied by increase in interest rates. See, increasing the interest rates is not a solution there. And increase in expenditure on public assets, yes, it can boost the demand. That is why this is a possibility, and we'll keep it on the side. Increase in tax rate increase, again, it is going to hurt people. Reduction of expenditure on public projects, again, it is not going to lead to increased demand. The only obvious solution is B. So solution is B. 34. If you keep other things constant, if you keep all the other things constant, market demand for a good might increase if price of its substitute increases. If the price of a substitute good increases, obviously people are going to choose the other good. So the demand, of course, would increase. So 1 is right. Price of its complement increases, like petrol. prices are increasing, will the demand for the car in question increase? No, it will drop. So 2 you can remove. Third, the good is an inferior good. An inferior good is the one whose demand reduces the moment the income of the people increase. So third statement cannot be right, and the fourth statement says its price falls. Any goods price falls, its demand automatically increases. So the solution is 1 and 4 only. A is the answer. 35. This is related to current affairs. If you have followed the current affairs a bit, you can easily get the answer. So urban cooperative banks earlier were being supervised and regulated by the registrar of cooperatives in the state government. So regulated by local boards, no, this is not the right answer. Now we have also seen that the RBI is directly regulating them. So first statement can be easily removed. The second one, they can issue equity shares. This permission has been given only recently. So 2 is correct, and they were brought under the purview of the Banking Regulation Act 1949 through an amendment in 1966. It is very much right. Till 66 they were not under the purview of the Banking Regulation Act. So 2 and 3 are absolutely right. 1 easy elimination, so you are going to go with B. 36, it is about the bond yields. So government bond yields are influenced by which of the following? Actions of Federal Reserve of United States. You might be under the impression that whatever US Federal Reserve does, it does not have any impact. It is going to have a great deal of bearing on the interest rates movement in India. So 1 is right. 2, actions of Reserve Bank of India. It is pretty obvious. Third, inflation. Anything related to inflation, it is going to cause some or the other harm to the real interest rates, right? Real interest rates, whether long term or short term, it is going to make a difference. So the solution is D, 1, 2 and 3. No problems there as well. Next, 37. 37th question. This was one question which actually was a bit tricky. You have to use completely elimination method. No correct answer can be found if you are searching on the internet. So the correct solution for this using elimination method is pretty simple. What you need to do is look at the second statement. It says foreign institutional investment with certain conditions. Now this you can consider as what? You can consider this as FDI because it says certain conditions. And then foreign currency convertible bonds, global depository receipts, non-resident external deposits. Let's suppose you are finding it difficult to eliminate amongst these leftovers. What you can do is non-resident external deposits are nothing but remittances. The moment you understand it as remittances, this falls into the category of current account. It does not go into the capital account at all. The moment it is on the capital current account side, no way it can become FDI. So 4 if you remove, 2 is there, right? So 2 should be there and 4 should not be there. So the only option you can get is A. The solution is A. 38. Pretty direct question again, if you have understood the external sector pretty properly. So effect of devaluation of a currency is that it necessarily, for sure, it should do something. It is going to increase the competitiveness of domestic exports, no doubt about it. 1 is absolutely right. 2, increases the foreign value of domestic currency. No, it goes against the meaning of devaluation. So 2 is removed. Improves the trade balance. This one, it might improve the trade balance with one country, may not improve it against other countries. So trade balance is more about how you deal with countries individually, right? So 3 cannot be the answer. Why? Because it may or may not. So solution is A. 39th question. For this question, you have to have a broader view of the question as to what it is asking. So creation of black money in India. What is the major cause of concern? Is diversion of resources to purchase of real estate and investment in luxury housing, is it a problem? Yes, it is a problem. True. Second, unproductive activities के लिए investment हो रहा है. Yes, that is also true. Third, large donations to political parties. This is also true. However, all the 3 statements are narrow in their understanding. A broader understanding is given by statement D, right? The last statement. So the solution has to be D. So it is D. And the last question which I'll be discussing is again a concept based question. Most inflationary in its effect is highest liquidity. So whichever is providing the highest liquidity, that would be the most inflationary. Repayment of public debt, it would take time and not so inflationary. Why? Because the money which government was supposed to spend, it is giving to the people directly. True, it is inflationary. However, not highly inflationary compared to the last option. Look at the last option, creation of new money to finance a budget deficit. Just to fill the deficit, you are creating new money. So D would be the correct answer. So borrowing from public to finance a budget deficit, no problem, you are sucking out the liquidity. Borrowing from the banks to finance a public deficit, budget deficit, again, this is also you are sucking out the liquidity from the system. So answer should be D, not the first three. So that's about it. That's the 40th question. So the next set of questions will be dealt by the expert faculty related to that subject. Thank you.
Now come to the question number 41. Here this particular question is very factual. Like you have to know about natural mosquito repellent, means the grass which can be used as a repellent, like congress grass, elephant grass, lemon grass and nut grass. Here answer is lemon grass. Like you have to know, only then we can solve this particular questions. Now in this particular questions, it is very basic questions and it is directly mentioned in our NCERT also. What is primary producer in food chain of ocean? When we talked about primary producers, it means the producers which are generating first time biomass, that are cyanobacteria and the diatom. It means it is very basic questions, and basic reference book this question is mentioned. Then answer is B, 2 and 3. Now come to the other questions. Here again these species, like when we talked about pangolin, this species remain in the news, and this species also have many threat. So basically when we talked about pangolin, so pangolin try to protect itself, like its scales, its cells from the from outsiders. So it means it should be the answer. So answers, when we talked about like 3 should be the answer, so answer should be C or D. So here basically when we talked about hedgehog and marmot, so here again we have to aware of this particular species, only then we can attempt this particular question. So answers can be C or D. Okay. So basically here answer is D. Now come to this particular again question. This question talked about New York declarations on forest. So first of all, whenever we talked about declarations, these are not legally binding. These are not legally binding. The declarations are generally not legally binding. It means statement third are incorrect. We can eliminate this statement. Now come to the question. Now come to the statement number 4. It endorsed by government, big companies and indigenous community. Whenever any declarations, it is not opposed by. So this is a very general statement and correct statement. That means answer should be D. So for this particular question, for this particular answer is A. For this particular question, it is not necessary you have to know exactly what is New York declarations on forest. One thing is, whenever we are doing declarations part, we are generally not legally binding. So we can eliminate, or we can say third is incorrect. Second, if you see fourth, we cannot say fourth is a like incorrect statement, very general statement, or we can say it is a correct. Now come to the question number 45. Here magnetite particles. Now they have asked about the generated as environmental pollution, like magnetite particles suspected to cause neurodegenerative problems are generated as environmental pollutant. So it is very difficult to say. It cannot be released. Brakes of motor vehicles, engines of motor vehicles, microwave stoves within homes, power plant, telephone lines. Whenever such questions comes, very open-ended questions. So it is very difficult to say, okay, statement number 1 we can eliminate or 2 we can eliminate. Then answer should be D. So like in this particular question, if you are not at all aware like how to solve, whenever questions are application based or open-ended, generally answers are D only. Now come to the question number 46. Here again, if you see the word filter feeder, filter feeder, it means like the species, whatever species they are mentioned in this particular question, they are taking nutrient through water. Like water entered in their stomach and then it released and they captured the food part. So pelican is a word, we can eliminate that part. Catfish, again it is taking the food from catching or eating other small fishes. So same way octopus. So answer is oyster. Again, when we talked about this particular questions like biogeochemical cycles, the main source, the rocks. So carbon and nitrogens are gaseous cycle, we can easily eliminate. The source of sulfur is mainly generally I can say volcanic, so we can eliminate sulfur also. Then the answer is phosphorus. So phosphorus generally we are getting from the rocks. This is also very basic questions like carbon, nitrogen, they are gaseous cycle, we can eliminate. Sulfur generally we are not getting too much from the rocks, we are getting from volcanoes. Then answer is phosphorus part. Now come to here. Here whenever you see this particular question, seahorse like Detrivirus. Detrivirus are the species who are eating or which are eating dead animals. So when we talked about seahorse, it is a fish. It is a fish. It means it is eating a small fish or the plant. So easily when we are going to eliminate fourth statement or seahorses, we are getting the answer. So here it is not necessary you have to know all others species which are mentioned. Seahorse is a fish, either it is eating small fish or other type of plant. Eliminating seahorse, we are getting the answer. Now come to the here 49 common carbon matrix. Common carbon matrix, here again supported by UNEP. So it is again like when we try to solve this particular question, it is little difficult question. By looking common carbon matrix, it is difficult to eliminate option B, C, D. Here if you are aware of this particular question, only then we can solve it actually. So basically for it answer is A. Now again, which of the following have species that can establish a symbiotic relationship with other organisms? Here they are asking about symbiotic relationship. So here again, it is again open-ended questions. And when we talked about cnidarians, fungi and protozoa, again for us it is very difficult to say cnidarian, fungi and protozoa are not living in symbiotic relationship. So all can live in symbiotic relationship, then answers is D. Here again like under the Indian Constitution, concentration of the wealth, Boylett. So basically when we talked about DPSP talked about philosophy of the constitutions, and they talked about like government will try to reduce the concentration of the wealth also. So answer here when we talked about right to equality, it is basically more about fundamental rights. It is not talking about to reduce the concentration of the wealth, but it is talking about to provide political equality. So we can eliminate this part also. Right to freedom also not talking about concentration of wealth, but it is talking about to express our ideas and whatever we can express freely. And concept of welfare, it is also not a part. Like then answer will be B. Then what is the positions of right to property? Now right to property, as we know, it is eliminated or it is deleted from the fundamental right. So now right to property is not a fundamental right. Okay, it is a legal right under 300A. So that means we can eliminate options D also. Right, legal right available to citizens only. No, it is not only for the citizens. Others people who are accumulating their wealth, it is protected by the state. Then answer is B. Then again, what was the exact constitutional status of India on 26th January? We know that like secular and socialistic, these are mentioned or inserted after 42nd constitutional amendment. So we can easily eliminate. Now when we got independence or our constitution was written, that time it was sovereign democratic republic, then answer is B. So very easy questions, we can easily solve this particular question. Now constitutional government means it is limited. When we talked about constitutional government, it means the government is limited by the terms of the constitution. But like again, this is very easy question, very basic questions. Okay. Then again 55, with the reference to India, the terms halvi ho kui. Again this particular questions is little difficult. You have to aware of these keywords, then only we are going to this particular questions. In real exam, if you are not at all aware, you can leave this particular questions also, but if you are aware, then basically they are tribal languages. Now come to the question number 56. In question number 56, they are talking about Bharat Ratna and Padma awards. Here like statement number 1, Bharat Ratna and Padma awards are titled under Article 18. Article 18 is not talking about to giving Bharat Ratna. They are generally talking about to eliminate or to abolish, to give titles to the people. So then this first statement will be incorrect. When first is incorrect, by eliminating it, we are getting okay. Answer is D. Now come to the question number 56. Here they are talking about Bharat Ratna and Padma award. When we talked about Bharat Ratna and Padma award, they are not confirmed or given as per our constitution. That means statement number 1 is incorrect. The number of Bharat Ratna award is restricted to maximum of 5. Generally UPSC give wrong numbers. It is not 5 in a particular year. Then again third is also incorrect. When 1 and 3rds are incorrect, then answers can be C and D. Now Padma award, which were instituted in the year 1954, were suspended only once, but not only once, twice it was suspended, then answer is D. Then question number 56. Here like first statement, development fund UNCDF and Arbor Day Foundations have recently organized Hyderabad as 2020 Tree City of the World. So it is not development fund, it is FAO. So it means first is incorrect. If you have this much knowledge only first is incorrect, so answers A option B can eliminate, B option B can eliminate. Now come to the option number C can we can eliminate, then answer should be D.
Okay, question number 58. Consider the following statement in respect of Laureus World Sports Award, which was instituted in the year 2000. So 3 options have been given, 1, 2 and 3. So what should be the answer here is, first is American golfer Tiger Woods was the first winner, okay, of this award. So this is the right statement, no doubt about it. So here this is right, okay. So this is right. The thing is this, here it is second statement, it is written that award mostly by Formula 1 players. So because of this term mostly, it became incorrect statement. So second is, so option is incorrect. So this is incorrect and this is incorrect and this is also incorrect. Left with only 1 and 3. And third option definitely it is correct. Roger Federer received this award maximum number of times compared to others. I think he has already won 6 times. So this is the answer for it. Next question is 59. Consider the following statement in respect of 32nd Summer Olympics. So first is option here is, official motto for this Olympic is a new world. So here it is a new world. This is incorrect. It is united by emotions. So it should be here. So this is incorrect. So first will not be the answer, both will not be the answer. So answer can be either B or D. Then we need to check second. Sports, climbing, surfing, skateboarding, karate and baseball, they are included in this Olympics. So this is correct. Second is correct. So answer will be definitely B. Next question number 60. Consider the following statement in respect of ICC World Test Championship, since it was in the news. That is the reason this question was asked. So first is finalists were decided by the number of matches they won. So here if we read a statement 1, then it looks like definitely according to the number of matches only they need to decide who will be the winner, but this is incorrect actually. There was point system. Next is New Zealand was ranked ahead of England because it won more matches than England. So this is also an incorrect fact if we check. So answer will be D. Next 61, right to city is an agreed human right, and United Nations Habitat monitors the commitments made by each country in this regard. So this is the first statement has been given. So in this first statement if we read by each country, again this is a little bit extreme. So by each country, so first definitely will not be the answer, correct? First will not, because whenever such type of United Nation Habitat and all these commitment used to happen, it is by each country, this becomes little bit extreme. So first will not be correct, this is also not correct, then either B or C. Since third is common, so now statement 2 is going to decide. So statement 2 is right to the city gives every occupant of the city the right to reclaim public spaces and public participation in the city. So this is correct. So third definitely correct because it is common and it is also correct statement. So definitely answer will be D. Next, so here question will start from Indian polity. So 62, with reference to India, consider the following statements. Two statements have been given. First is judicial custody means an accused is in the custody of concerned magistrate and such accused is locked up in police station, not in jail. So when we read this statement 1, so see it is said that judicial custody and the accused is actually locked up where? The accused is locked up in the police station. So see here accused in judicial custody, he will be not in the police station but he will be in jail actually. He will be in the jail. So first statement incorrect. So first will not be the answer, both will not be the answer. So now second statement, during judicial custody, police officer in charge of the case is not allowed to interrogate the suspect without approval of the court. Definitely the person when is under judicial custody, then magistrate permission is required or court permission is required whenever any officer want to interrogate. So that is judicial custody definition. So this B is the right answer because second statement is correct. So B is the right answer. Next 63, with reference to India, consider the following statement, correct? So here when a prisoner makes out a sufficient case, parole cannot be denied to such prisoner because it becomes a matter of his right. First we need to understand this parole, okay, it is not a right. This parole is not a right. This is thing we need to understand. Parole is not a right. So that is the reason is it is not correct because इसमें लिखा है parole cannot be denied because it becomes a matter of his right. Parole is never a right actually of the accused person, correct? Second is state governments have their own prisoners release parole rules. So first we need to understand prison actually it is a state subject. Since it is a state subject, rules also will be made by the state government only. So definitely second statement correct. So option will be 2 only. Next we will move question number 64. At the national level, which ministry is the nodal agency to ensure effective implementation of the scheduled tribes and other traditional forest dwellers recognized of the Forest Rights Act 2006. So see, this is very straightforward question. It is not a difficult fact oriented question hai. So most of the time it was always remain in news. So answer will be here is Ministry of Tribal Affairs only. Next question number 65. A legislation which confers on the executive or administrative authority an unguided and uncontrolled discretionary power in the matter of application of law violate which one of the article of the Constitution of India. So it talks about actually whenever a law that delegates some authority, okay, because delegated legislation, we used to call that delegated legislation. So whenever any law delegate some authority to the executive and administrative authority, then where actually it is going to violate the law. Reason is, see, first we need to understand article here. If we see article number 44, see article number 44 talks about uniform civil codes. So it has nothing to do with this question that is given here. So article 44, it is uniform civil code. So it has nothing to do. So this is not an answer, definitely. Then again, article 28. So we already know freedom of religion, that is from article number 25 to 28 they are talks about the freedom of religion. So again, this will not be the answer. Now option remain A or C. C, actually article 32, it is constitutional remedies whenever any violation of fundamental rights happen. So it is about it, that only. So this is also not the right answer. So article 14, that is equality before law, okay, or equal protection of law. So here actually definitely, okay, this violate actually application of law, this article number 14. So article number 14 will going to be the answer. If we move further, question number 66, which of the following in Indian polity is an essential feature that indicate that it is a federal in character? So first we need to understand, okay, here question is asking essential feature, when actually it become a federal. See, federal feature का most important characteristic is this, it is going to benefit the state. If it is not going to benefit the state or provincial government, definitely then it will not be a federal feature. So out of that 4, which is going to more favorable for state government? For example, first is independence of judiciary is safeguarded. See, when judiciary is independent, then only state government, they can actually, whenever they will be having any dispute with the central government, they can approach to the judiciary because they know that judiciary is independent. So that is the reason independence of the judiciary, it is one of the very basic feature for the, okay, that make actually federal in character. Other like union legislature has elected representative from constituent units. See, this will not be considered as essential feature because this written essential. See what they have written, essential feature. So out of that 4 options, if we go through, then first will be the most appropriate option, correct? Most appropriate option will be the first only. Rest, they are not the essential feature that indicate it is a federal in character. Next, 67, which one of the following best defines the term state? See, this is not available in the Lakshmikant, but we need to understand what is the meaning of the term state is. Like when we read state versus nation, so state means few important things need to be there, like a definite territory should be there, some collective people should be there, and third important, sovereign government also need to be there. So when we read option, okay, a community of person, that means one criteria have been fulfilled, permanently occupying a definite territory, so territory is also there. Next is independent of external control, that means they are sovereign also. And fourth criteria is possessing organized government also. So these are the 4 criteria they are given already here is, so that is the reason is this will be correct definition of the state. Up here see B option, politically organized people of a definite territory possessing an authority to govern them, maintain law and order, protect their natural rights and safeguard their means of sustenance. Why it is incorrect? Because here they have not given that government is sovereign, that government is completely free from the external forces, they can make their own foreign policy. So this will not be correct. See, a number of persons who have been living in a definite territory for a very long time, again for very long time we cannot define actually what is that long time is, with their own culture, traditions and government, again this is not correct, and D is also not correct. So correct answer will be A only. Next, question number 68, with reference to Indian judiciary, consider the following statement. So first statement here is, any retired judge of the Supreme Court of India can be called back to sit and act as a Supreme Court judge by the Chief Justice of India with prior permission of the President of India. So whether it is a correct statement or not. So when we read basically article number 128, so under article 128 there is a provision, under that Chief Justice of India definitely call a retired judge. with the permission of the President of India, but that judge will not be called as judge of the court. Correct? So this first statement is correct. Second statement, a high court in India has the power to review its own judgment as the Supreme Court does. See, since we know that high court is also a court of record. See, high court is also a court of record. Since high court is a court of record, definitely a high court also can review its own judgment just like Supreme Court, because Supreme Court is also having court of record. So what will be the answer? Will be C. Next we will move question number 69. With reference to India, consider the following statement. First statement here is given, there is only one citizenship and one domicile. Again, one citizenship and one domicile. So we are aware, definitely we are having only one citizenship, we are not having dual citizenship. So this statement can be correct. Now second statement we read, a citizen by birth only can become the head of the state. See, a citizen by birth, no. In India we can have citizenship. Okay, there are 5 different methods are there, like descent, like registration, like naturalization, like if suppose example and government is taking the territory from outside, and that also, correct? So this is not restricted. He only citizen by birth only can become the head of the state. Now head of the state means definitely president of India, correct? So this second statement definitely incorrect hai. Clear? Now third statement if we read, a foreigner once granted the citizenship cannot be deprived of under any circumstances. Again, this is not correct under any circumstances. There are various circumstances are there how anyone can lose the citizenship. Correct? For example, that foreigner has actually acquired the citizenship of any other country voluntarily, then definitely government can remove the citizenship. Government can deprive that foreigner from the citizenship. So third statement is also incorrect. So second incorrect. Third is also incorrect. So definitely we are left with only option 1. So this will be the answer. Now question number 70. Which one of the following factors constitute the best safeguard of liberty in a liberal democracy? Okay, which of the following factors they constitute best safeguard for the liberty? See, if committed judiciary, what is the meaning of committed judiciary? Committed means committed to the constitution. Committed means committed to the ruling government. Correct? Committed to the justice. We don't know. So this definitely cannot be the right answer. Second is centralization of power. See, when centralization of power is there, that means power is in a few hands only. Definitely then liberty cannot be expected actually. So this is also not correct. Third is elected government, but we don't know that elected government is directly elected or indirectly elected. We don't know. So this is also not the right answer. Now fourth is separation of power. See, when separation of power is there, the definitely judiciary will work according to their own rules. Executive will work, legislature will work. Here liberty, we can expect liberty will be there. Liberty can be safeguarded even by judiciary also, like in India we are having. Correct? So that separation of power will be the right answer. So that is question number 70. Clear? Now question number 71 further, they will be actually handled by the faculty, that is geography faculty.
Hello students, so we are going to discuss now geography questions that has come in UPSC Prelims 2021. So the first question that has been asked is regarding the vegetation of savanna region. If you look at the questions, the question has been asked like, what is the main reason that in savanna region vegetation does not develop or forest does not develop? What are the limiting conditions? So if we look here, we can find the options that are given are first burrowing animals and termite, second option is about fire, third option is regarding grazing herbivores, and fourth option is seasonal rainfall, while the fifth option is soil properties. Now if you look at all the options, we can see that what happens actually in savanna region, that there is prevalence of fire. Apart from that, also we see we have herbivores, lot of herbivores are there actually that graze around in the savanna region. We have the animal density is very high. You might have seen gazelles, different varieties of deers, this wilder beast, all these roam around savanna region and they graze. They are the vegetarians. They depend on the vegetation, and that is why they graze in savanna region, and that is the one main reason why we see that there is they causes difficulty in development of forest. So the correct answer as per these options will be C, that is second, third and fourth, the fire, grazing herbivores, and also in savanna region the rainfall is not very continuous, there is discontinuous kind of rainfall. Rainfall happens in only some season, concentrated in few months, that also acts as a limiting factor for the development of vegetation. The second question is a straightforward question that has been asked from the NCERTs, and we can see the question is regarding that which with reference to water distribution on the planet Earth. So, with respect to the water distribution on the planet Earth, what are the which of the following statements are correct? So, the first statement that is given is the amount of water in the rivers and lakes is more than the amount of groundwater. Okay, true or false? And the second option is the amount of water in polar ice caps and glacier is more than the amount of groundwater. Now, we try to understand the distribution of water on the earth. We know that about 97%, more than 97% of the water is concentrated in the oceans. Then remaining about 2.5% to 3% of water is concentrated, is a fresh water that is concentrated or found on the land. And out of this 2.5 to 3% of water, almost we can say 68% of this, 68% of these water are fresh water and concentrated in the, we can say, ice caps or glaciers, while about 30% of these 2.5 to 3% are concentrated in ground, below the ground. So, these are the groundwater. So, what we can see from here, that the amount of water in rivers is river and lake is more than the amount of groundwater. That is incorrect, because now about 1%, less than 1% of water is found in other sources, and rivers and lakes are in within this 1%. So, obviously groundwater is much more higher in concentration as compared to the water that is present in rivers and lakes. So, this is incorrect option. Second is the amount of water in polar ice caps and glaciers is more than the amount of groundwater. That is absolutely correct, because we can see from here about 68% of water is in ice caps and only 30% of water is in groundwater. So, correct answer will obviously be B, that is 2 only. Now, coming to the third question, that is regarding the tree. 2 trees has been asked this year, that is a moringa tree, also called as drumstick, as well as we have a tamarind tree. So, question has been asked regarding these 2 trees. The first option is that moringa is a leguminous evergreen tree. That is absolutely incorrect, because it is a deciduous tree. Second option is tamarind tree is endemic to South Asia. This is again incorrect, because tamarind tree is actually endemic to Africa, not to Asia. Third is, in India most of the tamarind is collected as a minor forest produce. It is true or false? So, this statement is, we can see true, because tamarind has been classified as a minor forest produce. We have other minor forest produce like gums, raisins, different kind of we can say seeds, etc. are considered as a minor forest produce for collection by tribals. Fourth is India export tamarind and seeds of moringa. This is also true. Actually, last year in 2020 December, India exported seed powders or powders of moringa to the United States. Then seeds of moringa and tamarind can be used in production of biofuel. This is also correct. So, the correct option for this particular question will be B, that is 3, 4 and 5 only. Now, coming to the next question, that is again a very straightforward, very simple question. If you have studied NCERT's geography, you would have been able to solve this question very easily. The question is regarding the black cotton soil of India has been formed due to weathering of which of the following kind of soil and rocks. So, brown forest soil, this is incorrect. Fissure volcanic rock, this is the correct answer. Granite schist incorrect, saline limestone incorrect. The reason is because the black soil, also called as cotton soil, is found in the western part of India, and that is concentrated in the states of Maharashtra, Gujarat, parts of Karnataka, parts of Madhya Pradesh. And here in earlier time, when Indian plate was moving from south, crossing the equator and traveling toward Eurasia, during that time there was a volcanism event or volcanic event has occurred, and during that time a large amount of lava or magma has erupted from the near the Indian Ocean. The Reunion hotspot is called as Reunion hotspot activity. So, near the island of Reunion, this extensive amount of lava erupted through Deccan Peninsula, that has created a volcanic rock, and upon disintegration of this volcanic rock, a black cotton soil has formed in this area. So, correct option will be B. Next is 75th, it is regarding the vaccine, that is and a vector vaccine. So, here if you look at the options given here are, with reference to recent development regarding vaccine recombinant vector vaccines, consider the following statement: genetic engineering is applied in the development of these vaccine and bacteria and viruses are used as a vector. So, again here both statements are correct. Obviously, when we design vector vaccine, genetic engineering, principles of genetic engineering are applied and both bacteria and viruses can be easily used as a vector. So, correct option will be C. Then next is again related to diseases. In the context of hereditary diseases, the following statements are given. The first statement is that passing on mitochondrial diseases from parent to child can be prevented by mitochondrial replacement therapy either before or after in vitro fertilization of egg. That is incorrect, because if MRT or mitochondrial replacement therapy has to be done, it has to be done before the fertilization or in vitro fertilization of egg. Actually, in this kind of treatment, the mitochondria or mitochondrial cells are called as the powerhouse of the body. So, mitochondrial cells, if there are some defects in the mother's cell, then another donor is chosen and mitochondria from that donor is transplanted into the egg, and that is when fertilization happens and the diseases can be prevented. Second is a child inherits mitochondrial diseases entirely from mother and not from father. This is also a correct statement. So, for this particular question, the correct option will be only 2. 77, again this is a current affair based question. Question has asked regarding the ball guard. Now, if we try to understand, question is ball guard 1 and 2 technologies are mentioned in the context of which of the following. So, first is clonal propagation of crop plants, developing genetically modified crop plants, production of plant growth substances and production of biofertilizer. So, ball guard is actually a genetically engineered cotton, because cotton are prone to infestation by something that we call as bollworm. So, to protect the cotton plants from bollworm, genetic engineering or genetic modification is done, and that is why we have ball guard 1 and ball guard 2 technologies are used. So, for this the correct option will be B, developing genetically modified crop plants. Then coming to question 78, that is regarding the pressure cooker. Again, this is a very basic questions asked, which you can be solved even by use of common sense. The question is that in a pressure cooker, the temperature at which the food is cooked depend mainly upon which of the following: area of the hole of the lid, temperature of the flame, or the weight of the lid. So, here if you try to understand, the pressure cooker works on the principle that a pressure, whenever anything is cooked, we try to build a pressure inside so that food can be cooked very easily. So, if area of the hole in lid is small or big, then what will happen? The vapor that is being generated due to heat, if the lid hole is very large, then vapor can be released very fastly and sufficient vapor will not be available inside the pressure cooker. So, time taken for food and temperature will be relatively higher. Similarly, temperature of flame obviously it is directly influencing the temperature, and third is the weight of the lid. Again, weight can change the pressure in the pressure cooker and that can also affect the temperature for the cooking of the food. So, the correct option will be 1, 2 and 3. All 3 can be responsible, or all 3 can be we can say affect the temperature for the cooking of food. Next is 3 different microorganisms like bacteria, fungi and virus is given. The question is asked, which of the chemical can be cultured in artificial or synthetic medium. So, all the microorganisms can be cultured in artificial or synthetic medium. So, bacteria, fungi, virus, all 3 are cultivated or can be cultivated in artificial medium. The next is 80 about adenovirus. Again, since COVID is very much in use and coronavirus was very much in use, that is why this question has been asked. So, question is like adenoviruses have single stranded DNA genomes, whereas retrovirus have double stranded DNA genomes. This statement is incorrect because retrovirus does not have DNA. Retrovirus are made up of RNA. DNA is deoxyribose nucleic acid, while RNA is ribonucleic acid. So, retrovirus have RNA, no DNA. So, this statement will be incorrect. Second is common cold is sometimes caused by an adenovirus, where AIDS is caused by retrovirus. Now, this statement is correct because AIDS is caused by HIV virus, that is human immunodeficiency virus. This is an example of a retrovirus, while adenovirus is a very common virus that is responsible for causing cold, common cold and cough. So, correct option will be second only, 2 only, that is B. Now, coming to 81st question, 81st question again is related to agriculture. The question has been asked regarding permaculture. So, the statements given are that how is permaculture farming different from conventional chemical farming? First is permaculture farming discourages monocultural practices, but in conventional chemical farming monocultural practices are predominant. This is again true statement, because monoculture is when we are cropping same crop again and again for extended period of time, that is called as monoculture. So, correct statement, this is correct statement. Second is conventional chemical farming can cause increase in soil salinity, but the occurrence of such phenomena is not observed in permaculture farming. Okay, this is also one of the advantages of permaculture farming, that salinity is reduced if we practice permaculture. Permaculture is again, if we are talking about when we pay more attention towards organic farming as well as integrated nutrients management as well as integrated pest management. So, all these are characteristic of permaculture farming, and that is why the increase in soil salinity is not observed here. Third is conventional chemical farming is easily possible in semi-arid region, but permaculture farming is not so easily possible in such region. Again, this is incorrect statement, because it has been observed that even permaculture farming by using organic fertilizers or by using the method of mulching can be easily practiced in the conventional chemical in the semi-arid region. So, this is incorrect statement. Fourth is practice of mulching is very important in permaculture, but not necessary in conventional chemical farming. This is again a correct statement, because permaculture, as I told you, it basically focuses on organic farming, and in organic farming mulching means when the remnant of the crop after it has been harvested is left behind in the field, and that stock, or we can say stock of the crops or the remnants of these crops, remaining parts of the crops, can be utilized again for producing organic or increasing the organic content in the soil. So, this is very important part in permaculture, but in conventional method of farming generally people depend or farmers depend on the artificial or synthetic fertilizers. So, mulching does not play a very important role there. So, the correct option obviously here will be B, that is option 1, 2 and 4 are correct. Now, coming to the next question, that is regarding palm oil. The question has been asked that with reference to palm oil, consider the following statement. First is the palm oil tree is native to Southeast Asia. This statement is incorrect. The palm oil tree is native to Africa. Second is the palm oil is a raw material for some industries producing lipsticks and perfume. This statement is correct, because palm oil has this property that they can hold the color for a longer period of time, and also they are edible. So, that is why they can be used in lipstick and perfumes. Third is palm oil can be used to produce biodiesel. Again, this is correct. Palm oil is example of first generation biodiesel. So, that is why the correct option here will be second and 3 only. The option 1 is incorrect. So, B is the correct answer. Now, next question, 83rd question is regarding Indus River system. So, the question is regarding with reference to Indus River system, the following out of the following 4 rivers, 3 of them pour into one of them which joins the Indus directly. Among the following, which one such river that joins the Indus directly? So, we try to understand the flow of Indus river. So, suppose this is the Indus river, okay, this is I. So, in Indus river first we have Chenab, like flow like this, you can see it is not meeting here. So, we have Indus flowing like this, here we have Chenab. In Chenab river Jhelum comes and meet, in river Jhelum, and then again in Chenab after Jhelum we have Ravi river that meets, and then Chenab, Jhelum and Ravi meets together, joins together, and they flow further south, and again one river Satluj comes and meet here like this. So, we can see from here, from this diagram, that Chenab, Jhelum and Ravi, all 3 are merging together, all these 3 rivers are merging together, then they are flowing further south, and then Satluj is coming and meeting the confluence of all these 3 rivers. So, as per the demand of this question, we can see here the river that joins the Indus river directly will obviously be Satluj. So, the correct option will be D. Next is with reference to India, Didwana, Kuchaman, Sargol and Khatu are the names of which of the following. So, this is again a factual questions. The Didwana, Kuchaman, Sargol and Khatu are all the names of saline lakes. These are also called as playas, and these are found, all these lakes are located in the state of Rajasthan. Actually, what happens? We have Aravalli's hills. From Aravalli's hills, all these different streams, water streams emerge and flow toward the western side. Then in summer time, what happens? The water dries up, leaving behind all the salt encrusted in this soil, and that is when what happens gradually when the water develops here, water gets collected here, the development of saline water lake or salt water lake happens. So, this is the saline lake. Correct answer will be D. Then consider the following rivers. We have Brahmani, Nagavali, Suvarnarekha and Vamsadhara. Which of the rivers originate in the eastern Ghat? So, again Brahmani river, if you look at the origin point, this is Chota Nagpur plateau. Brahmani river originate from Chota Nagpur plateau. Nagavali river originate from eastern Ghats. Suvarnarekha river also originate from Chota Nagpur plateau, and Vamsadhara river originate from the eastern Ghats. So, this is again is very factual questions regarding the river. So, correct answer will be 2 and 4, that is Nagavali river and the Vamsadhara river. Next is 86. The question is regarding the statements has been given that the Global Ocean Commission grants license for seabed exploration and mining in international waters, true or false. So, this is absolutely incorrect. The organization that is responsible for this is International Seabed Authority, which is headquartered in Kingston city of Jamaica. So, IAS is the one organization which grants licenses for seabed exploration, not Global Ocean Commission. Second is India has received licenses for seabed mineral exploration in international water. This is true. In the central Indian Ocean, somewhere near the shore of Mauritius, India has been given the license to explore polymetallic nodules that is present on the seabed. Third is rare earth minerals are present on the sea floor. This is also absolutely correct. Lot of minerals, especially polymetallic nodules, where a lot of metals are there like nickel, molybdenum, magnesium, iron, all these are present on the sea floor. So, second and third will be the correct option. The solution will be B. The next regarding among the following, which one of the following is the least water intensive crop? So, we have sugarcane, sunflower, pearl, millet and red gram. So, actually sugarcane out of these 4 are the most water intensive crop. That sugarcane for one growing season they require almost 1800 to 2200 millimeter of water. So, that is very high amount. Sunflower, pearl millet, red gram, all these can grow even in dryland areas. So, that is why their water requirement is very less. So, they are very water efficient crop, while sugarcane is least water efficient crop in these options. So, solution will be A. Next is, if we talk about the tropical zone, consider a tropical zone. In the tropical zone, the western section of the ocean are warmer by than the eastern section owing to the influence of trade wind. That is absolutely correct, because what happens, this is the equator and trade winds blow like this from both sides of the equator, and they collect the water, they accumulate the water in the eastern side, in the western side, and that is why water temperature is relatively higher here, okay, because from water at the surface is moved toward the western side, while on the eastern side as surface water moves, the water from bottom comes up and this water is relatively cooler. So, temperature here is relatively lesser. This phenomena is called as upwelling. So, due to upwelling phenomena, the water temperature is relatively less on the eastern side and slightly higher on the western side. So, this is correct statement. Second is, in the temperate zone, westerlies make the eastern section of ocean warmer than the western section. Now, this is incorrect statement, because here what happened, there is a Gulf stream. In the temperate zone, if you look at this, we have Gulf stream moving like this. Then we have the North Atlantic drift, if you talk about the Atlantic Ocean. So, it is the North Atlantic drift, that is the ocean current, that it is responsible for making the eastern section of ocean warmer than the western section. It is not the wind. Okay, westerlies does not contribute in changing the temperature or increase in temperature. It is the ocean current, specifically North Atlantic drift current in Atlantic Ocean, that is responsible for increasing the temperature. So, correct option will be A, only 1. Next is, in the context of India's preparation for climate smart agriculture, following statements are given. So, if you look at this, we have climate smart village approach in India is part of project led by Climate Change, Agriculture and Food Security and International Research Program. This is again the factual question, absolutely correct. Second option is, the project of CCAF is carried out under consultative group on International Agriculture Research headquartered in France. This is again true. Third is, International Crop Research Institute for Semi and Tropic in India is Semi-Arid Tropics, India is one of the CGI research institute. This is also correct. So, correct option will be D 1, 2 and 3. This is totally a factual questions regarding the environmental organizations or agricultural organizations. Next question is regarding the vegetation. The statement or the paragraph is given about Leaf litter decomposes faster than any other biome, and as a result the soil surface is often almost bare. Apart from trees, the vegetation is largely composed of plant forms that reach up into the canopy vicariously by climbing the fast trees or growing as epiphyte rooted on the upper branches of tree. This is most likely a description of. So, since here it is mentioned epiphytes, epiphytes are characteristic of tropical rainforest. Epiphytes are such kind of plant which does not have enough strength to support their own growth. So, two types of epiphytes are found here. We have climbers and creepers. So, both of them take support of other plants, other trees, and then they grow in support of that, and that is why we have tropical rainforest to the correct option. Also, because in this area, since temperature is very high, rainfall is very high, the decomposition of organic matter happens at very fast rate. So, correct option will be D. Next is water can dissolve more substances than any other liquid. What is the reason behind that? The options that are given here is it is dipolar in nature, it is good conductor of heat, it is high value of specific heat, and it is an oxide of hydrogen. Now see, all of these are correct, but the reason why water is able to dissolve more substances, and that is why actually it is also called as universal solvent. Water is known as universal solvent because of this reason, that it is able to dissolve more substances than any other liquid. And the main reason behind this is that it is dipolar in nature. Dipolar in nature means on one side it has H plus and it is made up of OH minus. So, we have positive ion as well as negative ion. So, due to this, since both kind of ions are present here, it is able to attract large number of different types of atoms and molecules, and that is why it is able to dissolve large number of substances. So, obviously the correct option will be A. Next is with reference to street lighting, how do sodium lamps differ from LED lamp? Again, it is a factual questions. So, sodium lamp produce light in 360 degree, this is correct, but LED lamps they produce light only in 180 degree. So, this is correct option. Second is as street light, sodium lamps have longer lifespan than LED lamps. This is incorrect because the sodium lamps have lifespan of almost about we can say 24,000 hours, while LED lamps can have lifespan of more than 50,000 to 100,000 hours. So, the lifespan of LED lamp is much higher than sodium lamp. So, this is incorrect. Third is the spectrum of visible light from sodium lamp is almost monochromatic, while LED lamps offer significant color advantage in street lighting. This is again correct statement because we have single spectrum visible in the case of sodium lamp, and that is why it is almost monochromatic in nature. So, correct option will be C, 1 and 3 only. The second is incorrect. And next is regarding the term ACE2. If we talk about ACE2, ACE2 is talked about in the context of which of the following. The options given here are the genes introduced in the genetically modified plant, development of India's own satellite navigation system, radio collars for wildlife tracking, and spread of viral diseases. So, again this has been used due to COVID. ACE2 is a kind of enzymes that are attached to the cells or in the cells of important organs like intestines and something like this. So, these enzymes has been considered as a reason, or we can say it is a mechanism by which COVID virus or coronavirus has been able to enter inside the human body. So, that is why it was in use. So, the reason will be due to this, this was in context of spread of viral diseases due to spread of COVID, this term was in use. Next is regarding bisphenol A, again this was in current affairs. Bisphenol A is a cause of concern. The reason behind is that in what kind of material it is found. So, bisphenol A is actually if you look last year there was very much news that if you are using water that is kept in a plastic bottle for a very longer period of time, then what happens, this bisphenol start to dissolve in the water and goes inside our body and can have several harmful effects. So, the correct option will be polycarbonate, as the plastic bottles are mainly made of polycarbonate. Next is 95 number question, that is triclosan. It is considered harmful when exposed to high levels for a long time and is most likely present in which of the following. So, actually triclosan has antibacterial properties, and that is why it is used in items like toothpaste, soaps, and so the correct option here will be D, that is toiletries. Toiletries means here we can use items like soaps, toothpastes. So, the correct option will be D, toiletries. Then last question, 96th number of question is, which one of the following is the reason why astronomical distances are measured in light years? So the reason why astronomical distances are measured in light years, because the speed of light remains same. It does not matter where you are calculating the speed of light. And also as it travels at very high speed, if you are talking about gigantic distances, it is much more easier to calculate such distances with respect to speed of light. So the correct option will be D, that is speed of light is always same and is much easier to calculate the gigantic astronomical distances. So that is all about geography and science and technology. The remaining part is about polity, that will be taken by the faculty of polity, that is Pawan sir. Thank you.
So here we are going to discuss some remaining questions from today's prelims paper. So first question is, we adopted, here 97 question is, we adopted parliamentary democracy based on British model, but how does our model differ from that British model, correct? So here first statement if we read, as regard legislation, British parliament is supreme or sovereign. Definitely we know that Indian parliament is not supreme, not even sovereign, correct? Because we are having mixing of parliamentary supremacy and judicial review. This is one of the salient features of our Indian constitution. But in India, the power of parliament to legislature is limited, so that definitely this statement is correct, no doubt about it. Second is, in India, matters related to the constitutionality of amendment of an act of parliament. See, they have written act of parliament, that means they have not mentioned constitutional law. They are talking about sometimes even ordinary law. They are referred to the constitution bench by the Supreme Court, whether they are referred, see, they are not referred always, okay, to the constitutional bench. Sometimes these actually constitutionality, they are actually referred to only division bench, that is 2 judges are there, only 3 judges are there, correct, this way. So that is the reason this is not always true. This is not always true. So that is even some, okay, where you can find out key, this may be the correct, but definitely final, okay, key will be given by the UPSC, but in my opinion 2 will not be the answer, because they are not always referred to the constitutional bench, because they are an act of parliament, they are not the constitutional law, they can be maybe an ordinary law also, correct? So answer will be only A, that's it. Now question number 98. So in question number 98, if we read, with reference to the union government, consider the following statement. So this question definitely will be easy for those who, okay, have optional public administration, but that is not a benefit here. So first is, with reference to the union government, here 98, consider the following statement. N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar suggested that a minister and a secretary be designated solely for pursuing the subject of administrative reform and promoting it. See, there is one committee was there, reforming of the government machinery, 1949 committee was there, and Gopalaswamy Iyengar. So definitely if we go deeper, definitely he has actually given, he has suggested this thing. For pursuing the subject of administrative reform and promoting, this need to be responsibility of the minister as well as secretary to that department, correct? So this is correct. Second is, in 1970, department was constituted, okay, of personnel on the recommendation of Administrative Reform Commission, and this was placed under the Prime Minister's charge. See, this line is correct. In 1970, department was constituted of personnel and on the recommendation of ARC report of 1960s. This is correct. But whether it was put under Prime Minister's charge, okay, so it was actually put under Cabinet Secretariat actually that time. So under Cabinet Secretary, definitely we can okay, make indirect conclusion ki definitely it will be under Prime Minister charge also. So 2 also may be the correct answer. So your answer can be A or C. Okay, answer can be A or C actually. So but again there is a 2% okay chances of error is also possible in this answer key. So answer can be either A or C. Now move to further. Question number 98, right to privacy is protected under which of the article of the Constitution of India? This is the easiest question in entire paper, definitely. I don't think anyone will be there who is not able to solve this question if they are serious for the UPSC preparation. So answer here is definitely article 21 case, Puttalaswamy case was there, and that already Supreme Court has declared right to privacy is a fundamental right under article 21, and this is also a repeated question, already UPSC asked this question in earlier paper. Next is last question, 100 question. So here they have asked, consider the following statement. In India, there is no law restricting the candidate from contesting in one Lok Sabha election from 3 constituencies. Whether there is no law. But if we read Representative People's Act 1951, then there is one section is there, section 33(7). And this section 33(7) actually restricts that one candidate cannot contest more than 2 Lok Sabha constituencies. Okay, before this 1996 definitely it was allowed, but it is not allowed now. So first is not the answer because there is no law, law is there already, correct. So one only they was correct. So the first is not correct, this is not correct, this is not correct. Answer can be 2 or 2 and 3. Since 2 is common, so 2 may be the answer. And third is, as per the existing rules, if a candidate contests in one Lok Sabha elections from the constituencies, his or her many party, okay, should be at the cost of by elections to the constituencies vacated by him or her in the event of him or her winning all the constituencies. See, this is not right because it may be possible that candidate who is contesting not belonging to the political party, but the candidate is independent candidate. So independent candidate, then definitely this will not be the answer. And the thing is that they need to actually file their election, okay, expenditures separately for separate constituencies. They should not bear. So third is not the right answer. Third will not be the answer. The answer will remain B only. Correct answer will be B. So see, this is the end of the discussion for this UPSC Prelims 2021 paper. So for cutoff predictions, definitely it is a prediction. No one can actually guarantee it. You can follow our this YouTube channel. Okay, subscribe it and share with your friends. You can actually follow or our this Telegram channel also, on Instagram page also, and definitely further few more videos and analysis in detail we are going to provide further. Whether this question paper was easy or difficult and what will the cutoff, okay, all these analysis, detailed analysis will be given further. So definitely you need to continue to follow the YouTube channel. Thank you everyone. Thank you.